Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and here we are with another older unit showcase, and I honestly felt like kind of making a special one here, where we're going to be actually looking at Suit Renegade Cynthia. I doubt this will be the last time I ever do something, with a review that relates to this unit, because I have a big feeling that Volo and Giratina, they're going to come out at some point, sooner or later, and I feel that I'm probably going to be wanting to do a double Giratina showcase, an Ancestor and Descendant showcase, whatever you want to call it, right? So, but we're going to look at Giratina and Giratina here. Giratina and Cynthia here today. See how well they've aged. They've been around for about a year and a half now, I believe. Yeah, they dropped late December of 2021, and it's July right now, so it's been a little over a year and a half since they've dropped, and I just felt like looking at them. We've got a good Ghost Week stage, so we can really test how strong they are right now. So the big thing with all of their abilities is that obviously they have really high offensive stats. They've got pretty solid defensive stats for being mostly a damage dealing unit. HP is pretty good as well. Speed's pretty good. So all around, their stats are really solid, right? Like solid offenses, solid defenses, offensives, defenses, whatever. HP is good, all of that, right? So good thing about her is that she's also got Shadow Ball and Shadow Force, right? These are some pretty solid damaging moves. Shadow Force is really hated in the community because it's it screws up the gauge, and it takes two turns to charge up. It may hit for quite a good amount of power, and she's got Super Shadow here, which will give her a super effective right before Shadow Force lands. But still, Shadow Force is still not really like that much. If you're gonna run her off type, then Shadow Force is not recommended to ever be run. It's really not a great ability to run. So keep that in mind, I guess. But Shadow Ball is definitely a lot more consistent of an option, right? And whenever it comes to her biggest aspect, it's Ghost Wish. Ghost Zone. She was the first ever Ghost Zone unit. I think she was the first ever Zone unit in general. I believe she was the first Zone unit, and then Lucas came out in the same data mine and had Dragon Zone, and then, it spiraled with, Suit Cyrus, and then, later on more characters got Zone, right? But Cynthia was the first here, I believe. So, yeah, that was nice. Ghost types really could use the buff at that time. The best Ghost unit was Anniversary Lily, and as we know right now, she's not really the greatest anymore. So, having Ghost Zone back at the time, it really propelled all Ghost units into a lot better of a standing, right? And then, of course, she has her trainer move here, which raises her attack and special attack by 4, raises her crit by 3, and lowers her defense and special defense by 1, which isn't really that bad, right? So that's good. She's got some solid damaging abilities here. She's got some good offenses, self-sufficiency as well, and all of that, right? Obviously, she's a Master Fair, of course, so she's got, Sinnoh Flag Bearer here, which I believe is one of the worst Master Passes, because it's 20%, but powers up moves of allies by 10%, reduces attack move damage taken by allies by 20%, and whenever you have more Sinnoh characters, the higher the percentage is raised. So that's definitely a good ability to have for sure, right? Especially whenever you're facing hard-hitting enemies, that damage reduction can really, save you, right? She's also got Sundering 9, which lowers the target's defense, special defense, or both whenever an attack move is successful against them, which is great. Well, any move, actually. So I guess if she had, like, Growl or something, then Sundering would work. She's also got Invigorating Shadow 2, which charges the move gauge by 2 whenever she takes on a Shadow Presence, so she's got a little bit of gauge sufficiency. And as we said, she's got Super Shadow, right? So looking at her 1 out of 5 here, she has nothing that's really too impressive outside of Ghost Zone and defensive debuffs, and of course the Master Passive. Otherwise, you're really just going to run her as a super effective damage dealer. Also, her innate is Ghost Zone, right? So keep that in mind. But still, that's not too shabby, right? If you're going to run her super effective, then great. And of course, her big thing is buffing other Ghost allies. So maybe if you have strong Ghost allies who can do off-type damage, Cynthia's going to be good for that, right? But when it comes to her grid, she's got some pretty decent stuff. She's got Honor Roll 2 here on Shadow Ball, which makes it, Yeah, it makes it 60% chance for special defense debuffs, which is good, because she also has Smarty Pants, which is a great Sync Nuke multiplier, right? Especially because she's going to be, using Shadow Ball, which is a special move. It's going to do, extra damage because of lowered special defense, and then the Sync Nuke is just going to work off that multiplier as well, but it's not going to work off of the actual special defense debuffs because it's a physical move. So I don't know why they built it like that, but they did give her Sundering, so she can do both defensive debuffing as well, which is good. Haunted Healing, which is whatever, really. She's also got Sync Stat Reboot 9, which you can pick up if you really want to, but I probably wouldn't risk sacrificing anything for it. Just resets your stats to normal, your lowered stats. She's also got, of course, the Sync Nodes here, which you can't pick up both, but oh well, just kind of how that goes. And of course we got Brain Sync 5 here, 50% power multiplier whenever her attack is raised by any amount, or special attack is raised by any amount, so that's good. She's also got a couple other things like Sync Quickening, Super Duper Effective 2, and other things, but mostly I would just stick with this, really. She's got stuff that can buff allies' special attack or attack if you want to be a more support-based unit, but really I don't know why you would. I really don't, but hey, it's something, right? It's something, so... again, also super duper effective 1 there on Shadow Ball. So she got quite a few super duper effective multipliers, but really, who cares? She's already super good at doing super effective damage, so may as well just run the full Sync Nuke grid here. That's probably the only grid you'll ever really want to run, but of course, depends how you want to do it. So let's look at Phoebe here. We're going to go against our Ghost Week, and of course, Alistair here is to benefit off of the Ghost Zone. And Brendan is here for special defense debuffs, so we can get Cynthia's full nuke in, which should be pretty fun, right? Pretty easy, pretty fun, all that stuff. So let's see how we do. And there we go. They do have a lot of stat buffs, and this enemy tends to be really, really strong. So, and we're also buffing them with Ghost Zone, of course. So keep that in mind. Thankfully, they're not doing too much damage yet, but once that Ghost Zone gets into play, then of course. It's going to do a little bit more damage, right? It's going to do a little bit more damage. So let's keep all of this in mind. And there we go. So thankfully we were actually able to get a decent number of special defense debuffs off, right? We got, what, probably -3 here. That was some, okay, that was some pretty solid buffs there. Let's go ahead and use our nuke. And I don't know why I went for Sludge Bomb. I just did. Obviously, Brendan's going to go down there, but that's fine. We're just looking at the damage here. Of course, this is super effective. Keep that in mind. I'll go into another opponent later on and showcase her off-type damage. 38,000 damage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, I would say. That's going to hurt a little bit, but oh well. So, here we go. We should take out the Dusk Noir here. Goodbye. 7,000 damage. That's relatively solid, I'd say. Let's go ahead and go for a G-Max Terror. And go switches back up. Now, let's actually use the Shadow Force, which is this the good thing about Shadow Force is that, you know, you avoid these AoE attacks for that one turn, which is great, right? So we don't have to worry about, Jesus. We don't have to worry about taking all that damage there from that Heat Wave, and we don't have to worry about taking the damage from this Icy Wind either. Good thing Alistair did not KO there. So what is Shadow Force doing with the super effective next here? Because, you know, Super Shadow. And yeah, 14,000 damage, so... amazing off-type or on-type damage dealer, right? I know I used her Sync Nuke, but even you saw the DPS. She doesn't have DPS multipliers at all, and she was still doing really solid damage, right? So I'd say that's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? We'll go ahead and hop into Phoebe here again, and we'll try to get Cynthia's maxed nuke, which means I'll probably hold off on using Ghost Zone for a little bit. I do need someone with Adrenaline, so I'll go ahead and bring Sigma Suit Elisa. And then I guess we'll bring Lucian for special defense debuffs here so we can get the full Sync Nuke in, right? The bad thing is that we may just KO the enemy before we even get to use our Sync move, which will be funny, but a little bit upsetting. But we're going to go for Support EX, then we're going to go for the Sync Nuke. We're just got to hope that Elisa survives long enough, which she should. It shouldn't be that bad because you saw how well Brandon was tanking, even though he did have special defense debuffs to be completely fair. But Elisa has evasion, so we can kind of hope to rely on that a little bit. There we go, and we can also max our special attack here as well, which is great. And we're just got to hope, again, Elisa survives long enough. And at least we're debuffing their stats. Their attack, at least, even though they don't use the attack stat, but oh well. It's fine. Sadly, we don't have NPR on Breathtaking, which would be great. There we go. Hopefully I can get a quad Q in. I cannot, but that's just how that goes. And sadly, Earthquake is probably going to do a decent bit of damage to us, but they do have debuffed attack. Okay, there we go. We may have gotten a little bit lucky, and hopefully we can survive here. Okay, so there's the fully debuffed special defense. Elisa. Okay, Elisa actually didn't get KO'd, which is great. Hopefully we don't get crit either. That would be very, very nice. This is the full Sync Nuke for Cynthia here. We have max special attack, and the enemy is fully debuffed special defense. let's go ahead, see what we're able to put up here. So this should be a very, very strong move. Very strong. I'm expecting like 50k at least. 38k because literally that was without a crit. Because Critical Strike 2 didn't activate. Also, getting this setup was hell, so the fact I have to reset to try get it again is bullshit. Okay, there we go. I actually opted to use a little bit of a different strategy here, but there we go. And there's the fully debuffed special defense again with Ghost Wish up, fully set up nuke, and hopefully this setup's a little bit more consistent. Well, okay, her attack isn't max, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, at least it didn't survive, I figured. That's fine, I just want to look at the damage. How much is this? Also, very, very cool sync animation, by the way. Amazing looking. I love Cyrus's as well. Dog is not so much. 74,000. That's a little bit of damage. That's pretty good. But yeah, honestly, I love the, creation trios. Jesus Christ. I love the creation trios animations when it comes to their sync moves. Because Cyrus's looks great, Cynthia's looks great, and Lucas's looks okay. It's fine. It's not really anything too amazing. But it's still something, right? This probably won't KO, I'm going to be honest. Oh, it does. 15,000. Neat. Still, that's pretty strong for Cynthia there. 74,000 damage off type. I guess we may as well try our, off type. I think I said off type earlier when I meant on type, but oh well. Let's try our off type now. I'm going to look at Sydney here, see how hard. Okay, Sydney hits hard, which is not good. Drake definitely hits hard. He's ice weak. Okay, and Glacia, I'm not fucking with Glacia. We'll figure out a setup here to go for, and then, yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun. Is this the best setup? No. But, I know Zinnia is not even Ghost or even related to this, but I literally had to give the enemy stats up in order to make it 2,500 points. Could I do this with, like, 2,000 points? Probably. But if I want to do 2,500 points, I have to select certain parameters, and the parameters that Cynthia requires are absolute shit. Alright, so keep that in mind. Okay, so extra special defense, all that's fine. Let's go ahead and get some special defense debuffs in here, and just hope that the fight goes the way we need it to. So we'll just go ahead and start stealing their stats. I probably should have waited to use Luster Purge a little bit later, but it's fine. Oh well, things happen. There we go, we stole their stats and used by Night Slash, that's fine, cool. Let's go ahead and try and get some defense debuffs in there as well with Crunch, maybe, that'd be cool. There's some special defense debuffs there, we'll go ahead and go for Cynthia's nuke just to start out with as well. And even more debuffs, which is great. That's cool, free moves next, sure. Okay, so let's see how this is looking here, -4 special defense, -1 regular defense. This shouldn't be too soft, right? This should be pretty good. 19,000, that's actually pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's nothing like crazy, but it's still pretty solid, honestly. Are we gonna win? Probably not, but it's fine, right? Okay, they just set up Dark Wish immediately to override everything I did. Still, I may be able to actually use that because Zinnia has Crunch. Oh well, that's fine. 2,000 damage. Oh well, it happens. 5,000 damage from Zinnia. Yeah. The parameters are horrible. If you want to do 2,000 points off type, sure, that's actually pretty easy. That's pretty easy to do against Sydney here. But when it comes to actually selecting 2,500 points, I'll go ahead and walk you through it. So, move gauges down, that's fine. Strength, that's fine. Power and hit, that's fine. Strength 2, that's fine. Attack up, that's fine. Gradual healing, whatever. Can't pick up special damage reduction because you use Shadow Ball. Can't pick up physical damage reduction because of your Sync Nuke. Can't pick up the stat stuff unless you use, Zinnia or whoever, like I did. Power and hit 1 is fine. Ally healing is fine. You need stat reduction for the nuke, so you can't pick up that. Max HP up. There we go. Attack up. Sync up. Strength. If you want to do strike, sure, I guess. Interference immunity, no status conditions, attack up, and that stuff as well. So you need 300 extra points. Even if you were to pick up something like HP, that, and whatever. I guess this, you can make it work, but I'm pretty sure those are literally the parameters I had, and it was a problem. So yeah, you can't really select 2,500 points too well and work with Cynthia here, but she is great on type. As stated, or as shown, she does great on type, and her best thing is that she's able to help out ghost allies. So maybe if you can work around, physical damage reduction or special damage reduction or whatever, and bring like Anniversary Lily maybe, Agatha, Fantina, whoever you want to try, you can probably clutch out an off-type win with Cynthia relatively easily here. But of course, that also depends on the opponent, how hard they hit, what supports you have, stuff like that, right? So overall, Renegade Cynthia, not a bad unit, not a too badly aged unit, but for a Master Fair standards, she's probably not aged super well. Similar to Archie and Maxie, I don't think they've aged amazingly, but I do think that they're still pretty good right now, so yeah, I think they're going to remain, you know, Cynthia and those two are going to remain pretty solid for the time being. Maybe I should have done a showcase for them. Oh well, I'll maybe do one later, but anyway, yeah. Bring it, Cynthia. I still like using the unit. I don't mind using her at all, especially, you know, being in super effective stages, right? I think she's still really fun to run, but anyway, yeah. I digress. I'm going to end the video there, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Renegade Cynthia and how she's, you know, aged over the years. Well, year and a half, I guess, so whatever. But yeah, I think she's still fun. Whatever. I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed.